Hey, this is Pat, and today we're checking out the all-new Losi Promoto MXRC bike. Now, I've been having a lot of fun with this. As you can tell from how beat up and crashed into Spurgeon's car this actual unit is. We've been playing around with this for a while, and I think this is one of the coolest RC toys slash little race RCs out there on the market that you can buy today. Now, Losi is one of the most well-known American brand names when it comes to RC racing. Over the years, they become more consumer facing when it comes to having options that everybody can use and everybody can take out of the box and run, and the Losi Promoto is no exception. This is one of the few bikes that I've seen that you can actually take out of the box and really get used to and start riding around right out of the gate without much of a learning curve out there. Now, this is a 1/4 scale Promoto X. This is actually the Kawasaki Pro Circuit Kawasaki edition here. Pricing for these, this is going to be a crucial one, so listen up. It's going to be $550 for the entry level, $600 for the Kawasaki Pro Circuit one I have in front of me. And the main difference, just keep in mind, is that for the $600 price tag, you are getting the battery included. So if you are looking at one of the other models, or if you just want to run a different set of plastics, or just don't want to have a Kawasaki as your main RC bike, you can get the other ones. You're just going to need to add on a battery into your shopping cart when you are going to check out. Pro Circuit actually worked with Losi to have everything included for their edition out there. That's why it comes with that $50 price bump. But like I said before, it is a 1/4 size right out of the box. It is massive. It does have a lot of features into it that I think are great for RC riding, for just casual riding. I've been out to Moto America. I've been at the dirt track, and I've seen a lot of the kids playing with these. I've seen a lot of the adults playing around with them, so it's really fun, something that gets everybody smiling, especially here at the office, and something that you can toy around with and just have fun, whether you're between sessions, between motos, or if you're just out in the backyard having fun. Now, let's talk about what comes in the box for that price point. I did talk for the $600 price point, you do get the battery. For everything though, you're gonna get a starting stand if you are doing a couple hole shots or practicing with that. You do get the center stand as well as the controller over on my right, and a second set of graphics if, like ours, it's pretty torn up from riding out. We use ours in the parking lot, so a lot more asphalt damage on there. But what you're looking at here is a 540 brushless motor inside of it. It's got twin 3mm aluminum plates to actually act as the chassis within there, but it is a real swing arm. It is real suspension. It does have a chain drive. It does have wearable parts, so something that I really dig seeing out there. It's got real working suspension, both front and rear, but there are changing parts, and it's even down to the Dunlop MX53 tires that they did partner with to have replicas on the front and back. You can swap those out for Supermoto tires if you are just ripping around in the parking lot instead of out on the grass. So I really dig it. A lot of the features out here are just designed very well and well thought out, which you'd expect from Losi when they're coming and trying to take the entire market by storm by coming out with something like this. A couple of the cool things I want to talk about: you do have real suspension up front, and I'll actually pop this off the stand just for a second. You do have real suspension up front, and one of the cool parts is, since everybody does it, including myself, you will crash into things eventually. There's actually a little bit of a brake in the front. If I can kind of show that on camera, it does flex in the front to absorb that impact so it doesn't just break right out of the gate. And another feature for that is you do have a flip up piece in the back, just for everyone doing wheelies with these. You do have that option, so it's not going to just snap off the rear fender as most people have seen from RC bikes in the past. Now, I say that as a crucial thing is because you are going to crash it into cars. I've crashed into Spurgeon's car a bunch. We've crashed into curbs around here, but almost every mode that you put this in, there are 3 different modes depending on what you're trying to do, will turn it into a wheelie machine. So I like that they've had this feature on the back. It is something that you'll realize right out of the gate. I even think high mode might be a little too much. We run it in medium and you're still wheeling nonstop. High mode is pretty much just if you're trying to join the 12 o'clock boys and you just want to have that feature for wheelies. So just keep that in mind. They are real working brakes. They are real working, like I said, drive and chain in the back, but the motor is really cool on the inside. It does have these stabilizing bars on the side. You can remove them. I wouldn't personally, just because you are going to be dragging it around turns, and it just helps a little bit in the learning curve of getting used to it. One thing I will say is it will back into turns. You can play with the brake on the controller or just let off the throttle and it will back into turns, which is really dope. And like I said, the grip up front is going to be matched with that MX53 tire. Now, it does have a flywheel built into it, so a lot of people are always curious how it's going to stay upright. There is a high-speed flywheel in there. It actually sounds like a plane starting up with the button on this side right here. You can actually see it tucked in there. You press that button, you'll actually hear the motor itself wind up to get ready for the bounce as it's going through there. And then once it's ready, you can start ripping around in the parking lot, but you do need to take time to go ahead and warm that up. Now the battery itself fits into the rear of the bike underneath of the seat and plugs right in. One thing I will say is learn from my mistakes. You want to remove that every time you're done riding with the bike, put it on the charger and then remove it from the charger. If you leave it in the bike, it will trickle down to a point where the battery cannot recover. I've talked to Losi about it. It is just a common feature when it comes to RC batteries and lithium ion batteries in there, but just learn from my mistake. I've already been through 3 of these just because when we plug it in the office, we might go home for the day and then it burns through. So just keep that in mind. You want to remove that on there. I would love Losi to maybe add a big old tag on the back that says don't forget to remove your battery, because when you're out there having fun, it is something that's pretty easy to forget. So just keep that in mind. The rider itself will come with custom graphics on the actual shirt and pants. You can remove the rider and take it off. Not to ride, you could, but it doesn't really look that appropriate. You can take it off and swap it out. This is our second set of jerseys and pants that we put on here. Just as you can see, it's pretty torn up, but the jersey is brand new. We did swap that out. It does just zip off, comes apart pretty easily with a couple Allen keys, and you can remove it from there. All in though, like I said, between the different driving modes, the amount of fun this is, you can get up to 40 miles per hour if you're in high mode and really just all out giving it the beans. That motor, that 540 brushless motor, the drivetrain, the real suspension, the real calipers makes this an extremely fun toy, an extremely fun adult toy if you're playing around and doing it in the parking lot between motos, or if you're buying this as a present for, say, a kid or your niece and nephew to get them into the sport. I think this is going to be a solid option coming in at that $550 to $600 price point. But if you have any other questions, or if you have any concerns about what comes in the box or anything like that, go ahead and click that info button. That's going to take you over to the product page where you can read other rider reviews and see what other riders are saying about the new Losi. And if you still have questions after that, or if you're just trying to figure out which one's right for you, give our customer service team a call. They're all riders, happy to help you all get set up for your next ride. I want to thank you for joining me and checking out the all-new Losi Promoto MX RC bike. I'm Pat, and I'll see you in the next video.